Jesus Christ, I don't know what's going on with this camera. I have been trying to upload a couple of videos, and this is not. Um, I don't know what's going on, other than the fact that the devil is once again busy. But he's a failure. Happy over a lie. Many people are happy because of things that they have. Actually, things that they want to have. Plans, goals, aspirations. Many of these things will never happen. They heap to themselves teachers having itching ears. So when people are complaining about the false teachers, just understand that it's part of God's judgment, because how can the Bible be true? Every jot and every tittle must come to pass. They have to. If the Bible says heap to themselves, that means there's got to be a lot of teachers for them to be able to heap to themselves. And everybody is different. People want to hear different things. And then even those who know truth, they still have dreams and goals and aspirations, many of which will never happen. I will not grow old. I will never be old. I will never die. I'm going to heaven in the rapture. I know this. I believe this. If I play my cards right, I hope that I hear God's voice and I don't miss it, because I don't want to be shortchanged or miss the perfect will of God for my life. And he can do all things, but if I miss his voice in the slightest way, once I remember doing that, and I end up walking around and around Silver Spring trying to get to Jesus House Church, all because when I got off the bus, that voice said, "Just walk," and I'm thinking, walk where? I don't know where to walk, and I was kind of thinking it was God, but I thought I better ask somebody directions. There's a bus driver, and he gave me directions. I didn't trust him. I started thinking things that were not, wasn't on his mind, and just the devil was just using whatever, was still in me, because I had just become born again. He was still, using whatever he could in my mind, and this was throwing my mind off. But he was trying to help, and I asked 2 or 3 different people for directions, and long story short, I finally found the place, and God told me to, once again, I felt that voice, and this time it was even quieter. It's like he'll go like this, and if you don't listen, he goes like this. He doesn't get louder. It's like he gets softer, and that's like kind of, I don't really like that, but he's God, so he can do what he wants. At least that's what it seemed like, because this time the voice was quieter, but I said, okay, now I feel like God is saying, go this way. That makes literally no, because at this point I'm on a street which I know very well, and I knew for a 100% fact that home was that way. So why would you tell me to go that way? I went that way, and then I was like, where am I going? And I remember, oh yeah, I did not, and I kind of walked, and I just decided to try to find the place where I first started off when I got off the bus. And when I found it, I faced the direction I was facing when I got off the bus, and remember that the voice said, just walk. And if I had have literally just picked up one foot, put it down, picked up the other foot, put it down, 1 step, 2 steps, step, and just keep walking, I would have literally walked right to the church. I would have walked to a point where I would have got to this little side street type, and I would have been like, okay, because I think I did have the address. So at that point, I would have been able to ask somebody, and they would say, oh, it's right there, just go around the little corner. Or just, I would have thought, okay, I don't know, maybe it's up here somewhere, let me look. Oh yeah, that looks like the picture. So I remember the picture, but I missed God's voice, and so sometimes that becomes, don't want to miss God's voice. I don't want to end up being mangled and torn to pieces, or living so that I'm still able to be caught up in the rapture, but at the same time, okay, you got to miss an arm because you missed it, but I'm just trusting God. The point of this video, as I said a minute ago, is that people, though, are really I doubt sometimes if their joy is coming from God. I think that they have joy in the Lord, but they also are holding on to these other things that they want to happen that are not. But for some reason, it's like growing and growing, and it's going and it's going, and they're so convinced it's going to happen because it is happening. But it's never going to come to fruition. And I feel bad for all of those people because I really believe that it's going to be a hard time for them in their lives. When you really have to face the facts. And I don't want to see them feeling how I feel at times. But so I'm already ahead where they are in the sense that I've been forced to realize that the things I want not going to happen. Most of the things I wanted was not of God. Everything that I was successful at were things that were really not of God and was taking me further from God. And some of it was taking me straight to hell. And everything else that I wanted, I never accomplished. And everything negative that people said about me ever ended up becoming reality. And everything that I just didn't want has become reality, except that I have my life and I haven't really been in any too much violent. I was shot at. I was almost killed. Well, somehow I never could run, and I was always afraid of climbing fences and doing anything that would physically hurt me. But somehow I just remember going to the fence, grabbing the fence, and being on the other side of the fence and running and thinking, wow, and how did I get over that fence? And as I'm thinking, I'm looking like, oh wow, my legs are moving fast. I've never run this fast. How am I running so fast? This is wild. But I'm always out of breath when I do run. I can only run for a couple of seconds, but I feel like I'm standing still. I'm breathing as if I'm standing still, but I'm running faster than I ever have in my life. How did I get over that fence? Angels given charge because I was being shot at for literally no reason. Somebody assumed that I did something that I literally did not do. And they just, out of all the people walking the streets, all the people that's standing at the 7-Eleven, and they chose to believe it was me. I guess the people who really did it said, oh, he did it, and just blamed me. And then these boys decided to actually come and was going to kill me. My mother says when I was in her stomach, the umbilical cord was around my neck, which for some reason they never picked up on the sonograms. Everything was fine, but then all of a sudden, you know, she said that was the reason they had to actually do an emergency C-section because they was trying to like birth me, and there was never any signs before, but then at the time they was trying to when it was actually time for me to come out, all of a sudden something was going wrong. They couldn't figure out what was going wrong, and they kept trying to I guess get my mother to birth me, but it wasn't working, and somehow they realized that the umbilical cord was around my neck, so Satan was choking me to death in my mother's stomach. And for some reason, I feel like I remember that because I would have this what I thought was a dream, and maybe it was a memory that everything was black, and it was something holding me, and I was trying to get up, and I couldn't, and I just couldn't breathe, and so I would just go like this. I would make my breath really shallow to the point where I was no longer breathing, and I was just. But then I would just kind of no, and sometimes I would see a light and a exit. Or just I'm thinking I gotta get there, and I was giving up, and then I just remember finally kind of feeling like I was a little bit more free of whatever. And I would have that sort of dream reoccurring as a child. And I think it's some type of reoccurring memory from being in my mother's stomach. Now, that's really weird. But most people only have half of their brain develop in the stomach, starts to develop, and then the logical side, and then the thoughts that are the creative side develops when you're out, once you're born. But for people who are left-handed like me and my mom, the right side develops faster than other people. So some people say that people who are left-handed are a little slow or weird or crazy. In some cultures and in some periods, they would kill us, or they would kill left-handed people, thinking that they were witches and sorcerers, and Some people think that, oh, that means you're really smart. But so with my mom, I think my dad was saying that he remembers her saying that, like, her family would like make her like they'll put things in her left hand to like make her left-handed because they thought that would make her, that meant she would be smart. But my mother is really smart, and with my sister, um, it was the opposite. My stepmom would put things in her right hand because I guess she felt like it was the right hand. I want her to be right-handed, and or people would say the left-handed people were slow, and I'm thinking, well, wow, I'm left-handed. Anyway, that's a little off subject, but that just memory just came back, and I'm thinking like, that story just came back, and it clicked to me like, was that a memory? Did I somehow remember that? And so I guess I'm explaining to myself like how that would even be possible. But in any case, so he's been trying, and I used to have a lot of dreams. There's no time. And people try to cheer me up by like telling me things that I'm like, that's not gonna happen. I know you like my voice. I'm not gonna have a record deal. I'm not gonna be some famous gospel singer. That's not gonna happen. I mean, I want so badly to believe something like that, but it's like that's not gonna happen. And people are believing a lie, and they're happy over a lie, and they have not really come to terms with what's going on. But I know so many people have been pinpointing May, some things in June, some things in July, and then that August is pretty much like no time to prepare. It's done. And I know that the Lord has always kind of put it in my heart to watch between March and October, like April and October, So like March, that time period between March and April, going into like October, November, and He told me that the chaos of 2011 would bring in order of 2012. When the new word order in the church, order in the kingdom, and it's going to be much persecution and much tribulations that's going to bring about order. And the Antichrist spirit has the beast. He said to me, something has been birthed, and I remember just having this knowing like the pit. They've opened the pit. A dear sister made a video about Venus. I'm thinking, I said, that's true. She's out. She's out. The poor children. Oh God, have mercy, Jesus. You haven't seen sexual perversion. You've not seen. My God. Everyone's going to just digress. People who are not living holy, it's going to all digress. The ones who are really seriously are straight going to become less straight, and the ones that are bisexual are going to become gay, and the ones that are gay become more gay, and then some are going to become transvestites, and some are going to start the animals. And oh Jesus. The children. My God, the poor children. I feel sorry for people who have kids. Please watch your children. Please watch your children. Jesus Christ. Happy over a lie. They want to believe. And even the prophet Jeremiah, when the other prophets came to him, he said, well, amen. Because a man who can prophesy peace in times like these, that's a prophet. If that's coming from God, he said, amen. And then it all came down just like Jeremiah thought. And he said, I wanted to believe that I was wrong. I wanted to believe that they knew what they was talking about and that God was, he was, And yes, he said, well, go ahead and plant and build. Otherwise, he was saying, you might as well get comfortable because it's going down. That's why he's telling people to prepare. Now, people have spoken of a wealth transfer. Everyone's been speaking of, I'm hoping that there's a wealth transfer for the kingdom. I do believe that there's going to be a separation, that it's going to be obvious. I do believe it's going to be very obvious how he's going to bless and protect his people. I also believe, like one woman said, that, they're going to say we're witches and, all sorts of things. And then the people who just don't necessarily believe that are going to still be angry when it's like the bus exploded. And he's alive. He has no scratches. Nothing. No problems. Nothing's wrong with his hearing. There's literally, as if he was never there. And my 3-year-old died. They're gonna want us dead. It's gonna be off with the heads of the Christians. Remove their Bibles. That's their strength. They know that word. You better get that word in your heart. I got a little word in there. I need to get an iPod or something just so I can put Bible on there. Just keep it going. Get some worship songs and just walk around playing the scriptures, Psalms. When I'm asleep, I need to hear it. Get one of those little machines. You put the iPod and the speakers. Maybe they'll play radio. I like classical music that soothes my soul. But just let it play and get it in my head. Just even if that way, if I can't remember it, the Holy Spirit can bring it to my remembrance. Because it's really going to be very dark. But people are out there shopping, they're spending money, gas prices are lowering, and things are going great, and everyone's happy, all because of a lie.